León. They've got this amazing push with DP Lycan coming through. They've got the Puck, which again, against Void Spirit, it's been one of the worst lanes for Puck, but even then it's kind of draws steady and even. So Liquid have some decent matchups to face off against that already. It just comes down to timings. Lycan Necrobook 1 is going to come out a lot faster than, say, the Terrorblades Sanj and Yasha, perhaps in this case. So you're always going to be a little bit more online with Lycan earlier compared to the Terrorblade. MNZ just needs to be disciplined enough to keep farming. Thunder Predator needs to get that vision game up. They need to protect the Terrorblade as much as possible until it's ready to play around with its metamorphosis. You're going to need a fast BKB here for MNZ. It's just not safe without it.
5v5 already, John. In the mid lane, Thunder Predator, they're going to hang around. Liquid, they're taking the high ground. They're getting straight into the triangle. This is great news for Liquid now, because I think Thunder Predator might try to invade that triangle again. Unless they're already aware, Frank, he's gonna board a scout if he really wants. See a Hawk up on the high ground as well, so they probably already know where Liquid did go. Looks like neither team's gonna really run into each other yet. Thunder Predator, however, they're still in position as 5. I don't see a smoke on anyone, so they're just gonna go take the triangle back. And it's gonna be a matter of now if Liquid actually want to go for a fight. They just may. They're looking to go high ground again. Insania trying to sneak up from behind to get the bounty rune. They'll swipe one away. MJ not there in time. In fact, Insania is going to turn right back around. That is a little bit dangerous, but he's going to be just fine. He had the Aphotic Shield. He'll back off, and that's going to be a 3-1 already. In terms of bounties, at least, for Team Liquid.
Yeah, it's a great start for Liquid. They get this really deep obs ward as well to watch the triangle. So they've got really good control. They can watch the rotations coming through here from Thunder Predator's end. If they want to go out, they can snipe those bounty runes as they come up. And Thunder Predator will have to be a bit cautious. They've got this Beastmaster, Mirana lane up top. You've got Frank, of course, on the Beastmaster, and Moose on that Mirana. So you can just play the arrow game, try to go for the range creep. But Insania level 1, he knows he can just run up. He's tanky, he's got the shield. He can force Frank back and buy some space out for Koivka. And so far, Koivka, he did cop the arrow, but that does protect his creeps. And they just kind of just go back to farming this lane for a bit more.
Yeah, he was actually body blocking the range creep and trying to get a deny off up against Moose. So definitely a nice attempt. I don't think he got the deny in the end, but you've got to try, especially up against the Mirana. You don't want to give him those free range creeps. If you can body block with your own body, you may as well do it. So we'll have a quick gander at the mid lane as well, John. Mickey up against Leo style. So far, 5-2 for the Void Spirit, 5-0 for the Puck. Seems like Mickey is going to have somewhat of an advantage in terms of harass, at least on the Puck. And we've been seeing him play this hero quite a lot, and he has been rather dominant in every single lane he's been in.
Yeah, he's just holding out on his own. Leo Style's going to have to wait for a few more levels to be up to apply that harassment out. He's still finding his own farm, though. So when it comes down to slowing down the Void Spirit, it's not quite lining up. Very even farm trade so far from both sides. And as a Void Spirit, I think that's probably one of the better situations for you. You're not being completely bullied out. Leo Style has a set of tangos to be ready anyway. It's going to be important to control those power runes as they come up on the 4-minute mark, but that is down the line. Gives us a chance to look at the other lanes just a bit. You do have MJZ contesting Taiga. Taiga did manage to get the wave pulled back.
That's a nice secure on the range creep there from MJZ. Really getting on the backside of that creep wave to make sure they did secure it. Taiga, I think, was trying to get a deny off. Of course, you have Boxy there as well on the Death Prophet, and they are going to be up against MNZ. This lane, though, it does seem kind of tough. In fact, hold that thought, because mid lane, Leo Star was getting quite low, but doesn't go down. Back to my point, though, John, for MNZ on the Terrorblade, it is a rather tough lane.
Yeah, it's not when you want to overextend in. You have to play with Metamorphosis as long as it's up. You can kind of run in. But once Taiga gets level 2 Avalanche, you're going to be looking for kill opportunities. Once you've got more levels up on Boxy as well, it's going to be hard to harass out the Death Prophet. So there's a lot of burst potential on hand for Liquid, and we talked about it from draft. But the terrorblade into this lineup, it's not the easiest time for MNZ, and he's gonna have to be very disciplined with his spacing and really consider how far he wants to push himself to find those last hits.
No, I do agree with you on that. He's got meta up, but he's not gonna pop it. He's just gonna hold on for now. Top lane, there's a bit of a group up, but it looks like Liquid is just trying to get the balls down. Frank does end up getting the deny on his own ball anyway. I suppose that is another pretty big strength of the Abaddon, is you can just continue to just chase these balls down over and over again, especially with that Curse of Avernus slow, and force Frank to just worry about denying those off, because they do give a lot of XP, and you never want to give the balls away for free, that's for sure. Still, bot lane, Boxy now. Was in a bit of danger as MNZ did pop the meta. Like he is going to be able to get away.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that harassment coming through. You need to maximize that, although down mid.
Haste Rune up at the top rune spot. Leo Style going to be able to go ahead and pick that up. That's going to be a pretty big bonus for Leo Style. These power runes have been so important for that 1v1 mid lane matchup for such a long time. And Haste Rune, while it's not something like a DD or a regen, it is still quite nice, especially if you do manage to hit that level 6 timing early on, like Leo Style is about to, and you can try to go for a bit of a gank attempt with that haste.
Yeah, it opens up a lot of possibilities for Thunder Predator to play that aggressive game. And the lanes have been fairly aggressive. We've been seeing both sides trade hits, but we haven't seen first blood. So both sides being a little bit more cautious on how far they go out. We're not even seeing the aggressive movements down mid that you might expect with a Mirana. They're just not quite lining up for the kill shots yet, although they are moving fairly deep, but needs a little bit more in the tank here.
MJZ, he was getting quite low, but does barely manage to get away. Now Boxy going to try and go on MNZ. Both of them going to be just fine. Rotation, he is that gank. Leo Style, he's down at the bot lane, but a nice avalanche there from Tiger. Will slow him down. He misses the Astral Step and the Aether Remnant, but he does find Boxy, and that'll be first blood. Leo Style, a great rotation out. Really abusing the Haste Rune early. Of course, Liquid, they had no answers to it.
Yeah, it's just a great use of that haste, finding that aggression. It's the level 6 timing you talked about. So with a haste, you can get the side lane rotation quite nicely. You do have 6 up in Mickey. So leaving that lane has allowed a puck to just kind of catch up in EXP, catch up in last hits. Have to watch the potential for Liquid now to look for something. They want to play with the Dream Coil, play with Avalanche Toss. There is a lot of aggression as well from Insane, just keeping moves away from his safe laner. So Mirana's just not able to do as much against Koipka, and you can see that in the farm. Koipka is not having the smoothest lane, but it's still against a Beastmaster, and he is still getting a lot of denies on that Lycan. So all things considered, top lane's going rather smoothly for Liquid, and that's all down to Insane just tossing his body forward.
Insane is a very good position 5 player. He does make a lot of space for his position 1, no matter who it is. Koifa, of course, enjoying himself on that Lycan. 29 and 12. Mind you, Frank has been keeping up quite nicely. In fact, he's been somewhat ahead of the Lycan, but, you know, it is a Lycan after all. You do have to be very cautious, because once that Necro 3's up, things do change quite a bit for the hero. Now Frank actually going to chase down Insania for a bit. Arrow, not going to be on the mark. Yeah, just nice little sidestep there to make sure he does not get stunned up. And still, almost 7 minutes in, John. 1 kill to Thunder Predator, but that's all we've got thus far.
Liquid are just holding fine. They are slightly ahead in net worth. They've already got the Necronomicon 1 up in Koipa. He's got his level 6 now as well, so he can to run down lane.
MJZ use the stick charges, will survive, but Boxy, he gets the Crypt Swarm. Still, MNZ is going to get a very nice trade for his trouble. And honestly, for Thunder Predator, you're not going to be upset about that. It's a pos 5 Oracle for a core DP you just got. And of course, the kill going to MNZ solo with XP is going to feel quite nice.
I mean, MNZ is already at level 6. He's been left alone at bot lane. This is the difference between both teams right now. It's smoother for the terrorblade. We expected Liquid to maybe apply that aggression with time, but they're looking mid instead.
Yeah, Tiger, he's going to join in. He'd love a toss out of the Dream Coil, but he's going to go up instead. Still the Fate Edict coming out in time from MJZ, excuse me, keeping Leo Style alive. That was a very nice Fate's Edict out from our Oracle. Had he not committed that, that was a guaranteed death on Leo Style.
Yeah, it's just smart plays coming out from Thunder Predator. The rotations for Liquid not lining up quite nicely. They're going to try again, though.
He's got the avalanche and the toss combination. He'll toss back the puck. Mickey gonna try and fight. Leo style though, still alive. Very nice arcane rune. The bot power rune spot, MJZ. He's gonna have none of it. He'll deny it immediately. That's one rune you never want to give over to the puck.
Yeah, and it's been a rough time for Mickey. He's forced to walk back, his bottle's not refilled, doesn't really have a TP rotation from supports available to just TP refill his bottle. So the puck, considering that start where he was kind of trading evenly, not winning out those power runes really sets the tone for the rest of the game. He hasn't been able to rotate out of mid, unlike Leo style, and he hasn't been able to get that kill with the first Dream Coil. So the game plan for Liquid kind of slowing down, and they have started to just allow the terrorblade to farm up, which is exactly what Thunder Predator wants here. I mean, it's a lot of free space coming out here for MNZ. He's very close to his Yasha. Once you have the SNY, it's going to be harder to burst that terrorblade down.
That certainly will be, John. MNZ just doing what he needs to do. Keep farming up, protect that safe lane, and as long as the tower isn't down, you are just fine. But top lane, that's where the action's about to break out. Mickey is coming in from the backside, right onto the Beastmaster. They've got the toss out of the coil for the guaranteed stun, and they'll get the kill onto Frank. Still the turnaround now, Leo style. He's going to try and gank, and he'll get Insania onto Tiger. They don't hit the Aether Remnant. But they are going to be fine for now. MJZ haven't looked to see if they can find anyone else. But it is going to be a 1-for-1, certainly favoring the side of Team Liquid.
Yeah, they're going to be happy enough taking out that Beastmaster. At least you find a counter kill on Thunder Predator. You can see how willing they are to face up that aggression. But Liquid finally finding that kill with the Dream Coil is big. It allows them to also fight all these bounty runes.
They have to. They brought more in. Frank's back. Avalanche toss out from Tiger to hold down moves. He's very low, but Leo style still willing to fight. Goes back in onto Tiger. The Tiny dropping a little bit low, but not low enough as he goes back in now. He has tossed back up in 4. That's going to be about it. Looks like Liquid do manage to get the bounties, and they're right out of there. Still, even bot lane now, Boxy, he does pop the Exorcism for the first time. He's going to try and get that safe lane tower of the Radiant. This is pretty standard stuff with the Siege Creep, of course. But while that's happening, mid lane, Leo style, he was pressuring. Still, Dream Coil is going to come out from Liquid, and they're going to find a very valuable pick-off. And of course, now Koifa, in the Void Spirit go down, can start the pressure with his own Siege Creep.
Yeah, they've already found a bot tier 1. They're going to try to find mid. They've got the Necronomicon level 2 up as well for Koifa. So it should be relatively easy to start to rip through this tower. And Thunder Predator cannot allow that to fall, but there's not much they can do at this point to stop the push.
Well, we talked about this, John. The wave clear is not there, especially early on. You've always got to be very wary of where this Lycan's gone. And now Liquid, it looks like they're starting to feel very confident with their own draft, moving into the Radiant jungle. This will be their farming area for quite a while, and of course Thunder Predator, they are going to have to move.
Yeah, they're already set for that from Liquid, though.
Koifa, they've called out the Lycan, they love the kill, but the arrow does not connect. Koifa, he's going to be just fine. Bit of a mistake there from Thunder Predator. Had that arrow landed, it would have been a very important kill for them, but wasn't quite there.
Yeah, it's the one issue when you rely on that combination with a Void Spirit. Sometimes you just can't connect. Sometimes you just can't get the Spirit, the Remnant to kind of connect as well to set up. So it can be a bit tricky. I think what we need to see right now from Thunder Predator is a play with Roar. Frank's been doing a great job in shoving in the top lane, but we haven't seen any Roar plays. In the middle of these fights, he always gets silence in the back line, and they need that control if they want to find these pickoffs on Thunder Predator's end. So we're going to have to see them start to play around with that timing on a Beastmaster. For now, though, they are splitting up to farm, but you can see the wards from Liquid. They were already ready for MNZ to take the triangle. They did drop this nice ward watching that farm pattern, so it's never quite safe for MNZ, even if, you know, they feel safe there because they have control. Liquid can still abuse that.
Liquid, they're going to go for another smoke up. Just Mickey and Tiger move up towards the top lane. Gonna find moves as well, but Tiger, his smoke broken. They get the Dream Coil. That's all they wanted. The toss up, they don't even need to toss him out. They know how they have the damage output without breaking the coil. That'll make it a 3-4 now. Liquid, slowly but surely, Getting that momentum going.
Leo style. Yeah, just you can see how strong the Lycan is. He can just run up to the Void Spirit, slow him down with Necronomicon, and suddenly you have to have your Oracle on hand to purge you off. Thunder Predator, for their part, they still need to find more objectives. They only found top. They need to even out the mid control right now, but look at the movement of Liquid, just taking control of that triangle.
Mid lane, JZ. Be all right. But this is very concerning when Liquid are just freely able to take the triangle away from Thunder Predator. So much farm is going to be lost now for the Radiant. Quafer just going to take the Ancients, take the neutrals, and back off. Of course, now they can target the T1 tower, and then they can go right back to the triangle and just control that area around Roshan. And not only is that going to allow them to escalate in farm, with this Lycan draft, you can go for a very early Roshan attempt. And they'll have first dibs on that Roshan pick.
Yeah, they just have better control on the map to make that happen. Thunder Predator, it's not like they're lagging too far behind here. Less than 1k lead for Liquid, 3 to 4 on the kill board, not too far apart, but you can see that Liquid, they're just so much more confident with these objectives, and we need to see Thunder Predator apply the same. You talk about a Lycan draft, Thunder Predator has a Beastmaster. They need to find those initial objectives as well. They do have the Manta style up on MNZ, so there's some options for the terrorblade to join in, but still not ideal. And as you mentioned, Liquid gonna go straight for that Roche.
Yeah, but Thunder Predator, they can't let this happen, and they know. They know what's going on. They're gonna move in with a smoke. Now an arrow to scout out. It will connect on a wolf. Okay, gonna get out and clear out the Necro units of the Beastmaster, and they do get one. Roshan, about half HP, and Liquid, they are so confident that they are not going to back off. With this Exorcism, it's very hard to fight into them. Still, now a TB Illusion going to slowly move his way in. Roshan getting even lower, but Thunder Predator still need to commit. There's your reflection now. Now the meta, they're going to commit all the way, but a massive Dream Coil is out from Mickey, connecting on all three, and they are going to clean them up. Leo, he's trying to sneak the Roshan attempt. Can he get it in time? He does. He gets the Aegis on the Void Spirit. The Dire will claim the Roshan gold, and they are still going to kill the Void Spirit. At least they deny the Aegis away. But John, there's no way to sugarcoat it. It was a massive win for Team Liquid nonetheless.
Yeah, they just know their strengths. They've got better team fight, better AoE control. We talked about this from draft as well. Thunder Predator want to run and gun. They need to find pickoffs, but they don't necessarily want to force the bigger fights. They had MNZ up front, and he immediately popped his Manta. So he got silence in the middle of it. His Oracle was way too close by. And when you take that combination away, the Terrorblade's just so squishy. Now moves.
Oh, he's been caught out. They got the silence, but they don't have the Dream Coil. It just won't matter, though. There's just too much silence here from Liquid to control the Mirana up. Of course, now he does have the Yule Scepter there on that Mirana, but it's just a little bit too late that time around. Liquid with a 5k net worth lead 16 minutes in. I suppose for Thunder Predator, this is that point now where you really just kind of bunker down and make sure that your Terrorblade is just farming. I think it's all in on MNZ now.
Yeah, they just need to buy space for MNZ. He is going for the Scotty build. I think I would love to see a BKB instead, just to enable yourself to stand forward. You don't need to rely as much on MJZ. But with a Scotty, you can slow down the regen coming through. You can kind of start to chink down the side of Liquid, start to drag them down a bit. And Liquid, for their part, they're starting to build their lead up. 5k up, they've been finding the kills, they've been finding the objectives. They can start to line up for the bot tier 2, and they do have Exorcism up if they want to force a big fight, but looks like they want to just keep that control in the jungle and maybe force out a fight instead.
You can't blame them. Like, you look at Quafer, he's almost already got the AC up. Once that's up, everyone just suddenly becomes a little bit tankier. It's that much harder to stop them from these pushes. Still bot lane, Moose now going to be chased down, but he'll be able to leap away. Tiger, he does have the blink dagger. Didn't have the vision of the Mirana, and she was too far away anyway. He's still chasing, however, Tiger. He'd love a target with this blink. Not going to get one yet.
Yeah, and Thunder Predator, for their part, using that space well. Frank just shoving in the top tier 2 to trade. It is melting a lot faster with no response coming through. They need to start to commit for that bot tier 2 to even out the control. This is good for Thunder Predator, but without finding the mid tier 1, it's still not the ideal. So they're going to have to throw their bodies forward for mid. They've got time to respond to bot, but that one's starting to melt with the Exorcism.
Oh, there's no way they could fight into the Exorcism right now. They're going high ground, Liquid. They understand how powerful they are at the moment. They're going to move right in. Moves, can you stop this? They need the whole team, and they need to take a team fight. It's just very hard. Without that Exorcism gone, how do you fight into this team? They're going to try. The bot racks now under siege. Toss back Tiger. He's caught one. It's going to be the Marana. Moves. He'll get his Yules off. Mickey, he has a silence and he'll get the kill. Leo Style unable to help out. And it looks like they're just going to have to forfeit this bot lane of racks unless Frank really wants to commit. He's going to throw the raw round. They got the coil. Kuiper about to die. Insania cannot keep him alive. Now MNZ, he'll come in. They need his damage. They'll go back onto the DP. Boxy, he's in danger and he's going to go down as well. That's a great defense there from Thunder Predator. They got the mid-tier 1 tower with the terrorblade. They waited the Exorcism out. And MNZ coming in at the exact right time to make sure the bot racks did not die.
Yeah, great defense coming through. Holding on to the racks is going to be big. That means you don't need to worry about the bot lane shoving out too much. The terrorblade that's starting to become a little bit too big here. Is #1 in net worth, and MNZ has been very good at just not showing on the map, getting his farm up. Does have that one ultimate orb, so there's a lot more HP they need to rip through, and there's just not enough burst to control the terrorblade off immediately. They are lacking damage right now on the side of Liquid outside of the Lycan, and without the BKB on Kuiper up front, even with the AC, he is going to be vulnerable to that control coming out from Thunder Predator, and he needs to watch himself. He needs maybe just finish the AC, go straight for a BKB after. Once you have that, all you really worry about is roar from Frank. Beyond that, you're just not going to melt. Still, Liquid are looking to move forward here.
They are. Roar up in 10 for Frank. Got to be somewhat cautious about that, but they know the meta is not up, and that's the most important. Still, Thunder Predator naturally will try to avoid them while that meta is not available. I like what I'm seeing here from Leo Style, just pushing out that top lane, applying the pressure, trying to force the side of Liquid back. But Liquid, they might just have enough time to at least get that mid-tier 2 tower before they have to defend that high ground. So they jump in again. It's going to be on Moose. He's going to be just fine with the Oracle behind him. And Liquid, they'll have to make a decision. Do they want to commit to the push or not? They've got the Exorcism. They've still got that siege creep. Tiger, toss back, only on a board. Thunder Predator just chipping away at Liquid. And even the tier 2 just doing so much damage to the heroes of Liquid at the moment. MNZ 10 seconds away from that meta. If they could drag it out just a little bit longer, they could commit to the team fight. But Tiger, he's going to get it started right on the Marana. She manages to leap out the Crypt Swarm. It won't land. Moose just barely getting himself out. But Liquid, they got what they came for. That'll be enough. They'll get back to farming.
Yeah, it opens up another lane to shove into on the high ground if they do find that bot fight they'd want. They are giving a lot of space out to MNZ. He's got that full Scotty up. He's going straight for the butterfly, so he's not even bothering with BKBs. He just wants to get the damage off. And Liquid are fairly squishy outside of the AC on the Lycan. He doesn't have that much HP. So if you allow this Terrorblade to fight you under Metamorphosis, you will have issues. And you mentioned it earlier on, Thunder Predator, it was becoming all in on the TB. It looks like it's paying off for MNZ, and they do smoke up with a Moonlight Shadow on top.
Yeah, I mean, with that Skadi on MNZ, it hasn't been shown yet, so this will be a surprise reveal from the Terrorblade. Only problem being, Kuiper also is currently with his team with an AC up. And they're going high ground again, right smoke in. Trying to catch somebody off guard, but there's the Exorcism out. They want to try and rush this, while Thunder Predator aren't prepared to defend. Now the TPs are going to arrive. There's your cliff out. Boxy just gonna frontline for the team on that Death Prophet. Moose dropping low already, but here comes MNZ. Now the jump in, Leo style, trying to get it started. Mickey, a nice dream coil, catching out too. They're gonna hold their ground. False promise just in the nick of time for Leo style. He'll survive, but MNZ now, the silence, he can't sunder. They'll purge it off, the turnaround. He gets the sunder in time. Tiger's in trouble now. Tiger, he might just drop. Leo, he does pick up the kill. Onto the puck now, Mickey. He's gonna try and phase shift his way out, but they'll focus on the DP instead. Right onto Boxy. The DP, she can't heal herself up. She's gonna die. Back onto Mickey now, the puck so darn low. Leo trying to get the control, but this puck is so damn slippery. It looks like he just might make it out, or maybe not. Leo's not done yet. The remnant gonna catch him. And they even found Quafer. Frank able to pick up the Lycan. And Thunder Predator, John, they are not allowing this bot racks to die. They will continue the defense. And I've got to tell you, they're looking good now. The net worth has evened up.
Yeah, it's great holds coming out from Thunder Predator. Liquid, they just aren't lining up that initiation. They need to be able to land all their spells, find an immediate pickoff. The fact that Leostyle did not die just caused so many issues in Insania.
He's got the borrowed time, but he may not be safe. In fact, Yule's out from Moose onto Tiger. They won't get the arrow out, however. Tiger's just going to try and run. We just fine. They don't have MNZ either, don't forget, John. He hasn't got the meta right now. He's just been trying to pressure the bot lane to make sure Liquid can't continue to try and run these sneaky tactics. And of course, he is going straight into the butterfly next, and that is a lot of value when you're up against Lycan.
Oh, it definitely is. Just allows him to get so much more damage out. You avoid some of that damage as well on the terrorblade. The side of Liquid right now, there's some major damage issues. When you see the Fate's Edict come out, you can't burst them down with magic damage. They need to somehow hunt MJZ in the backline, and that's Taiga's job. But MJZ has been doing a fantastic job of spacing himself out every single time in these fights. Look at that build up in the Oracle as well. He's going Glimmer into Blink, so he just wants to ensure that he's always in a good spot to save his cores. And that's just a big issue for Liquid. If they don't burst them down before the Fate's Edict or the False Promise is up, you are likely going to take a very hard fight up ahead.
We go again, John. Liquid, they're doing the same thing. They're trying to pressure that bot lane. Moonlight Shadow has been popped, and Thunder Predator, they're reading them like a book at the moment. They know. Tiger, however, he had a sentry down prior to that last team fight. Frank looking to come in from the front. There's your jump in, Leo style. He'll get started right onto the puck. She's so down low. They'll get Boxy as well. The roar was there in time. Tiger trying to run, and so is Quafer. He's going to be just fine for now as Moose is going to be the one to go down on the Marana. He'll run around trying to find the Oracle. MJZ still alive through the False Promise. MNZ now trying to find another target. And in fact, they do end up killing off the Oracle. Mickey jump right back in and make sure they got at least something for their trouble. And so we're 1 for 2. They lose Boxy, but they'll get 2 supports. But for Thunder Predator, as long as they're defending these barracks, I believe they will be happy. In fact, Tiger, a quick blink away. The Orchid flew in. And MNZ fighting by himself now. Quafer. My goodness. That's a lot of damage.
Oh yes, it's reaching that point where the Terrorblade's just way too big. They don't have the initial burst needed to whip him down, and they don't have physical damage to handle him as well. They've got the Solar Crest up and running on Boxy at the least, so you can maybe try to soften him up. But Thunder Predator, they're strong enough that even without Metamorphosis straight into the pit, Liquid do get a good scan off, so they could be able to contest this if they're fast enough.
They don't have coil for another 5 seconds, but McKay's gonna make sure they just get out of the pit. Jump in again, Leo style. He just wants the DP dead, and it looks like Boxy is going to die immediately. Insania already with the borrowed time, but the roar out. Frank, he caught Mickey. The puck's gone. Insania's gone. And Roshan's gone as well. Except this time, Thunder Predator are going to make sure they get the Aegis for sure. And they will probably leave with it. Unless Tiger can make some magic happen. But Moose is already on the mission to make sure he can't get into that pit. And MNZ, he'll take the Aegis and the cheese.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to handle 2 lives of the Terrorblade. at least if you catch him off guard with Metamorphosis up on the second life, he won't have it. So not going to be as impactful for MNZ, but still a massive issue for Liquid. They're just not finding the angles for this initiation. Like, they need something like a Lincoln's up on their puck, and I did see Mika trying to queue that up, but he's trying to opt for the Ags instead. They need solid lockdown here, so the Ags will provide that. But the immediate control coming out from Frank, very disciplined to find the right targets. And if we talk about it, right, like puck into Beastmaster. Beastmaster does have a lot of ways to play around that matchup. Have to be very cautious on the side of Liquid. 6K behind, they need to play faster with their Lycan. You are seeing Quakefoot just split push bot, and even Tiger just annoy the top lane. But the net worth is starting to drop. The map control is fairly even in terms of what towers are left standing. You still need a lot more here on Liquid, and they need to find a way to get that farm going.
That's a big rune, John. MNZ, he just spotted a DD rune. Leo probably going to give his bottle away to MNZ. There you go. Now this is going to be painful. With meta up, I believe he's right-clicking with the double damage rune active for about 700-800 damage. Each right-click. Maybe a bit more than that.
Yeah.
So they could go high ground for sure.
It's going to be painful for Liquid. I mean, they have the AC to somewhat mitigate that. They have this Solar Crest again on Boxy to protect one, but only one. And there's something about Liquid that's going wrong here. Like, we're not seeing the saves with the Aphotic Shield coming through from Insania. I think his positioning has been a lot more forward. They need the Abaddon to be a bit further back, and they need to start the fights with Taiga instead. Taiga and Boxy have to sort of be the frontliners. Maybe Mickey as well, if he has that coil. But beyond that, you need to let the Abaddon sit back. He needs to save his spells for the saves. And Thunder Predator, they can take their time here. They're slowly chipping away at the tower. They're going to look for that bot tier 2. They're clearing out the creep wave. And once they commit, they could take complete control, take away all the outer towers for Liquid. And they're going to be stuck in a very tough spot, just in the high ground, needing more farm. Koifa is still saving up for his BKB. The Ags for Mickey is still 3 parts away, about 1,300 gold off, so not too bad. But it needs to come out fast. Look at MZ. He's got a Satanic flying in.
Not only
and there's just nothing to stop that.
He's got a Paladin Sword on top, John.
Oh, so beautiful.
So the heals coming out from his Oracle amplified to boot on top of the Satanic. It's going to be very, very hard to stop this Terrorblade now. Let's see what Liquid can do. High ground, under siege, a nice toss back Tiger. That's a great start. They might be able to get the Aegis first. Silence out, MNZ still alive, will get used up. Again, he stands the secondary life, he'll go for the Sunder. Leo, he's in. Dream Coil though, gonna be committed. They might find the Void Spirit. He eats the cheese, but it's not gonna be enough. Another great toss back Tiger, just getting the TB again. MNZ needs to find a way out, but he might just lose his first life. But no, the force staff, the false promise, it is there in time. He'll turn back around now with the meta, but has it been popped too early? Who does he target? He'll go after Tiger. They're still trying to burst this Terrorblade down, but Tiger, he's copying way too much damage. He'll die first. Onto Quincy now. They'll find the Lycan. The buyback's there from Tiger. He is right-clicking for 800 damage, this Terrorblade. Mickey does get MJZ. But MNZ's not giving up. He wants at least one lane of barracks.
Yeah, it's
like he might just get it.
Yeah, they need Tiger to make a play again. It's all on the back of Tiny finding that isolation, and it's difficult for Thunder Predator. The big issue there was MGZ's just not around to get the saves.
He'll go for moves this time, but Fate's Edict was there in the nick of time from their Oracle. Now, well, who do you focus? Arrow does land. They found Boxy. That'll be Exorcism gone. Now Leo Style right in after Mickey, after the puck. They'll get another. It looks like they found Insania and they found Tiger. The Tiny's trying to run, but Leo Style is on the case, and it's GG. Thunder Predator, their first game of the group stage, will take a game off Liquid.
Yep, a lot of people looking down in South America, proven wrong here. Thunder Predator running fast. It looked